Welcome to our video. We are Group 1 and we chose to do our group case project on Alibaba Group. We are Carly Valentine, Tasman Lopez, Mackenzie Madsen, Sarah Castillo, and Braden Ross.
Here's an audio clip that explains a little better what Alibaba is.
What is Alibaba? Alibaba is China's largest e-commerce company, and by some measures, it's the world's largest e-commerce company. It does a lot more than just sell toys and clothes. It's a network of interconnected products and services that spans China. It's on mobile. It has a mapping service. It's a bank, a shipping company, and a search engine. It handled $240 billion worth of merchandise in 2013. That's more than Amazon and eBay combined. Alibaba has 7 million merchants, more than 800 million items for sale, and its revenues approached $8 billion last year. Alibaba's profits were $3.5 billion, and the planned IPO could value the company at $150 billion. If you've ever shopped in a busy Chinese marketplace like this one, you understand Alibaba. Alibaba's biggest business is Taobao, which is an online marketplace. Vendors list their items for free, but they pay to stand out. This is the search function, and this is how Alibaba makes money. Then there is Tmall, another e-commerce site, but this one's more like an upscale shopping mall where brands like Nike and P&G sell their goods, and they pay big fees to get listed here. Aside from e-commerce, Alibaba's newest growth area is finance. Alipay is China's biggest payments processor and operates similar to PayPal. Now, customers can stash their Alipay cash into a money market fund called Yuebao, or leftover treasure. Alibaba has grown at a breakneck pace, but the company is facing a big shift as customers start buying on their smartphones. The company has big competitors, including China's biggest chat application, WeChat. With the IPO due in the coming months, the real question is, how will investors value China's biggest online marketplace?
Alibaba strives to make it easy to do business anywhere. Their mission statement is, "We operate leading online and mobile marketplaces in retail and wholesale trade, as well as cloud computing and other services. We provide technology and services to enable consumers, merchants, and other participants to conduct commerce in our ecosystem."
Alibaba's vision is, we aim to build the future and infrastructure of commerce. We envision that our customers will meet, work, and live at Alibaba, and that we will be a company that lasts at least 102 years.
As part of our presentation, we're going to go over Alibaba's enviable resources and capabilities that really sets them apart. Additionally, we're going to talk about the key issues, some of the threats that they're facing, some of their problems, and really we're going to talk about how they can fix that. And finally, we're going to give a recommendation on how they should go forward to maintain and achieve a sustained competitive advantage. Going forward, we're going to have Mackenzie talk a little bit about their resources and capabilities.
So a few of Alibaba's resources and capabilities include firm linkages between divisions, localization, technological innovation, and support services. To start off, its firm linkages between divisions include AliExpress, Alipay, Tmall, Taobao, and Alibaba. Its another resource is localization. It has a major resource of localization because other foreign and domestic competitors can't compete on its level because it's already spanned through so much of China, including its understanding and knowledge of its local culture, customs, needs, and wants. Another part of its localization is its huge amount of capital. Alibaba is the largest IPO in the world, and also China's market share is 2 times that of the US. Its technological innovations include its m-commerce. Its m-commerce sales in 2015 estimated at $333.99 in billions, and its sales projection for 2019 is $1,410.72 in billions. Another part of its m-commerce is its face recognition in Alipay. It's still in beta form, but it's called Smile to Pay. It's similar to Apple's Touch to Pay, but it is more enhanced, unique, and a safer innovation than Apple's Touch to Pay. Another one of its technological innovations is its connectability between websites. Tmall and Taobao are designed to optimize and maximize the amount of products available to consumers. For example, when searching for items in Tmall or Taobao, available options from both websites will be provided to consumers to show. Its last resource is its support services, which some of them include Wangwang and Alipay. They are used within its Alibaba's different divisions. Wangwang is its communication and feedback system that connects sellers and buyers. Sellers and buyers communicate with each other about quality of products, pricing, and other discussion points. Another one of Alibaba's support services is Alipay. It's similar to the US PayPal, but much larger and some could say advanced. It's the payment system with multiple financial institutions, including Visa, MasterCard, and other financial payment systems. Next, Sarah will speak about Alibaba's key issues.
Alibaba's key issues at the moment are fraud, the risk of the fraud, the limited international accessibility at the moment, and the vulnerability of their position with the government support. Talking about fraud, they have a problem with bait and switch scheme, which is false advertising where consumers not receiving the products they order or not up to the standards they were expecting in their sites. Counterfeiting goods. 2/3 of the world's counterfeiting products are from China, and since Alibaba is the largest online seller of products and goods in China, this becomes an issue for them. Their international accessibility. Many sites and services are not friendly for other countries. Their websites are structured for Chinese consumers. Though they have become an international power by being publicly traded in the New York Exchange, and they are known for having the largest IPO in history, which is up to $25 billion, just followed by Facebook. They have not integrated their international approach across all their divisions and services. Many potential users are not aware of the services due to the lack of marketing internationally. Their government support. The relationship with the government is vital to Alibaba's success. The Chinese government acts as a gatekeeper of the economy in China. This is why Alibaba must maintain a good relationship with them. Alibaba needs to adhere to strict rules and regulations. The Chinese government is mostly indifferent to the needs of their businesses. They don't really like expansion of the economy if they are not involved. Next, we're going to have Carly Valentine explain a little bit more about Alibaba.
Okay, I'm going to be telling you about the strategic alternatives we have for Alibaba, and this includes its international accessibility for users and retaining a good relationship with the government, along with managing fraudulent activity. The first strategic alternative I'm going to talk about is international accessibility. So to really get ahead and become an international success, Alibaba should want to create websites with multiple languages so that people of all different backgrounds they'll be more user friendly for them. And currently, a lot of their sites are only available in Chinese, so this can create a problem for international buyers. They also want to make sure that they maintain and make connections with local suppliers. This could give another huge competitive advantage for Alibaba. Outsource online marketing could be another big thing for them to work on, and that would be reaching out to Google and Bing to increase global marketing. And an example of this would be if you want to buy a certain pair of Nike shoes and you go on Google or Bing to search that pair of shoes, and along with Amazon, up pops Alibaba, one of their sites, and now you realize that it's available to buy from one of Alibaba's websites as well, and even at a cheaper price than any of the other competitors. Our second strategic alternative would be retaining a good relationship with the government. They can do this by investing in more funding for the Chinese government activities. This would really make the Chinese people happy and along with the Chinese government because they are so willing to help. They could do things like increasing purchases of government stock and increase donations to political causes. They could establish a team to maintain government relations. By doing this, they will stay current with Chinese e-commerce legislation and also with Chinese and global political events. This would help them identify quirks that please the Chinese government so that they can stay at good standing with them and the government won't be able to interfere with their business. The third strategic alternative that I'm going to talk about is to manage fraudulent activity. And this has been one of the biggest things in the news with Alibaba. They have issues with counterfeit products lately being sold from their websites, as well as Sarah said, the bait and switch that keeps happening. So they could manage these fraudulent activities by doing various things, such as investing capital and improvements in the escrow services and support to ensure security in online transactions. And this would make users even more likely to buy things from Alibaba because they know that their identity is secure and it won't get stolen and there won't be any issues like that. They could also improve and maintain reputation by enhancing and utilizing technological structure to detect unethical sellers. And this is another thing that would help so that counterfeit products are not being sold and so that they maintain a good brand name and a trustable brand name as well. They could make swift movements against offenders to console consumers and discourage future fraudulent activity also. And all these things would really help to keep Alibaba's brand name strong so that people know that they can trust to buy anything they want from their websites. Next, we're going to be giving the time off to Tasman, who's going to discuss VRIO and TOEs.
Okay, so starting with international accessibility, we feel that this alternative has value in that increasing international traffic to Alibaba Group will increase revenues. International accessibility is rare because few, if any, Chinese markets have the potential to expand their systems internationally. International accessibility is costly to imitate, as Alibaba Group would be the Chinese first movers to do this, and Alibaba is organized to exploit this alternative, which would give them a sustained competitive advantage. Retaining a good relationship with the government is valuable in that it is vital to the survival of Alibaba Group in China. This alternative is rare as not many Chinese companies have such positive support from the Chinese government currently. Retaining this relationship with the government is costly to imitate because of the social complexities associated with this exclusive relationship. And Alibaba is organized to exploit this alternative, which we feel would give them a sustained competitive advantage. The last strategic alternative is managing fraudulent activity, and we feel that this alternative has value because it would strengthen Alibaba's brand image and reputation for reliability, which speaks to consumers and in turn would boost traffic and revenues. Because of Chinese culture, honest and dependable services are rare, and Alibaba has the resources to make this strategy a reality. It's costly to imitate as competitors just can't compete with Alibaba's capital and resources to manage fraud in this way. And Alibaba's capital infrastructure and technology allows them to execute proposed actions unlike other companies. So it's organized to exploit this advantage, which we feel would give them a sustained competitive advantage. So moving on to the TOEs analysis, for the combination of the strengths and opportunities, our overall strategies would be to expand international market via their huge capital, or utilize support services to combat fraudulent activity. For the weaknesses and opportunities combination, our overall strategies would be to utilize the government relationship to influence e-commerce and fraud legislation and internationalization. For the strengths and threats combination, our overall strategies would be to establish support services to ensure that third-party sellers are more trustworthy, and use capital to prevent technological stagnance and stay relevant in the tech world. And for the weaknesses and threats combination, Our overall strategies would be to imitate but make better foreign competitors' fraud management, as they don't seem to have the same issues that Alibaba does, and to influence and utilize the government relationship in government regulation and legislation with e-commerce. So next, Braden will talk about our recommendation.
So Alibaba, as you've been able to see, is a very impressive company. They've got a lot of good things going for them. The largest IPO in history in 2014. They've just got a lot of good things going for them. And so our recommendation for them to have this sustained competitive advantage is to first manage the fraudulent activity. The reason why we chose that is because it's all about their reputation. And as we've learned in class, really, the intangible things are the most important things. And certainly reputation is intangible. So some of our recommendations to go along with that, to develop that reputation, to maintain the reputation, to keep it going, is to hire an anti-counterfeiting legal team specializing in China. They need to be very familiar with the laws in China. They need to be very familiar with the ways that they can prosecute people who are doing some fraudulent activity on the online transactions. We believe that if they can do that, they'll get the teeth in their process, and it will really, really get their company going in that way. Secondly, we want them to create a division to manage fraudulent activity within the company. It's an internal thing that will help them to be able to manage that better, and it also shows people that they're serious about it. Third, we want them to invest more security in transactions with Alipay. Recently they did this a little bit, but obviously we want them to do more. Recently they spent over $700 million in Alipay, and a lot of that had to do with just the technological advancement with the Smile to Pay, but also with the security. And so we think that that's a good start. And if you're looking as far as how that investment is, that was about 25% of their normal profits. So, they're making some substantial investments in that. Fourth, further utilize Alipay into all operations. As of now, essentially in Taobao and Tmall, that is the preferred payment method, Alipay. And Alibaba still gives a lot of different methods to pay, but we feel that if they have an in-house way to manage fraudulent activity, they're going to be able to ensure that a lot to their shareholders and also their users. And that's going to incorporate a lot of investment and also just people using Alipay and Alibaba in general. And finally, we feel like this is going to give them a great relationship with all the brands that they work with. As we saw in the video, or heard in the video, I guess, they work with Nike and a whole bunch of different brands who are very well known, and they want to feel comfortable putting their projects and their products on their website so that they have a good image as well. And so essentially it's good for the shareholder, which, as we know, people are very interested in Alibaba with the largest IPO ever. With the users, they've got over 350 million users just on Alipay, and also just with the companies that they're with, and they're with some big dogs like Nike. And so we feel that if they do that, they're going to have a sustained competitive advantage. They're going to keep going, and their trajectory is very good. And that should be scary for other competitors. It's already scary for China, but people like Amazon and others internationally, that will be a scary thing. We really appreciate you guys listening to our slide. It was a joy doing this class. And we're going to say thank you in Chinese.
再见。
再见，谢谢你。